Peace, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. So, over the last weekend, D23 happened in California. And basically, I just want to talk about some of the things that I learned were coming out from Disney and some of the highlights from D23. So if you don't know what D23 is, it's basically the Disney convention where they basically talk about all things Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, you name it, Disney Channel, you know, all of that. And so they basically had their convention where they had all these like vendors and all these like different panels and all these things. And so obviously I didn't go because I'm in Virginia, but I did watch some of the live stream and I did follow stuff on social media, and I did learn a few of my favorite things are coming out. And also I did find out that certain people were on certain panels and I missed all of it, and I'm actually going to have a fit about it because it's like my childhood coming to realization and I missed all of it, but it's okay because one day. Anyways, enough rambling, let's talk about it. So the first biggest thing that really made me happy, but also extremely nervous, was them announcing the Mufasa movie. So if you don't know, back in 2019, they came out with the CGI version of The Lion King remake, and it was the worst thing they've ever made in their entire life, and I'm just so enraged every time I think about it because it was just like the worst movie on earth. Like, I cannot with that movie, and I am a lifelong Lion King fan, stan, whatever you want to call it. I am obsessed with that movie. That's my favorite movie of all time. And segue, also, Jason Weaver, who was in The Lion King, he was the singing voice of Cub Simba, and he sang I Just Can't Wait to Be King and part of Hakuna Matata. The song for I Just Can't Wait to Be King actually just went platinum. So shout out to Jason Weaver. We love Jason Weaver on this channel. So shout out to him, and shout out to I Just Can't Wait to Be King. That's an incredible song, and Jason Weaver sang the song. Like, he sang that song. So shout out to him. But anyways, back to what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of The Lion King. The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, one of my favorite movies as well. Just the whole franchise has been great up until the 2019 live action movie, and the live action movie was just trash. Like, it was the most trash thing Disney has ever put out, and I just don't know why. But following in their footsteps, they decided to make a prequel movie called Mufasa, which is basically going to be the story of Mufasa and Scar when they were growing up, and basically how Mufasa becomes king and how Scar gets his scar, but also how he has this grudge against his brother. Because if you don't know the story, basically when Mufasa and Scar were kids, Mufasa was in line to become king, and Scar wanted to become king, but he couldn't. And also, he was part of the Lion Guard, but he took advantage of that, and so basically got this scar on his eye. And but also, something people don't know is that Scar actually liked Sarabi, which is Simba's mom and Mufasa's wife, and he couldn't get with her, and so he basically had this grudge against his brother his whole life, and that's why he wanted to kill him. So on paper, sounds epic, sounds amazing, sounds beautiful. We would want that, right? And basically the premise that they're saying this is going to be taking place in, because obviously Mufasa dead. So they're basically going to have Rafiki and Timon and Pumbaa kind of in the same vein as Lion King 1.5, but I think it's going to be a lot more serious. Maybe with some jokes, obviously, because it's the Lion King, but with a lot more of a serious tone. And so they're basically going to have those three narrating everything, and we're just going to be going back in time to when Mufasa and Scar were kids. Do I want this? Yes. Am I nervous? extremely. Like I said, the CGI Lion King was trash. And I am super nervous because they're doing another CGI version. I am super nervous this is going to bomb. Because they just did not do that movie well at all. And all I want from Mufasa is for them to go back to their 2D animation and do it right. And stop thinking that they need to do everything in CGI. Because this is new territory for the Lion King, right? If you know anything about the Lion King as a series, as whatever, you would know that there were these books, but they were like these picture books for kids. And basically that's what told the story of Mufasa and Scar as kids. And so they're basically taking from that and putting it into this movie. And that's great and everything, but I don't want it to be CGI. I just don't want it to be CGI because it's going to suck. It's going to suck, guys. I'm nervous because it's going to suck. Because the Lion King remake in 2019 was very bad. Because none of the lions, none of the cubs, none of the lions, none of them had good facial expressions. Like, it wasn't cartoony at all. Like, nothing. Like, the only people who I actually was okay with in the 2019 remake was Timon and Pumbaa, and that's only because they're hilarious in any context. But the rest of it was trash. The rest of it was trash. Like, trash. And I just can't get behind it. And so I'm very, very nervous about this live action Mufasa movie, but I'm also really excited because that's more Lion King content, and you know I'm just going to be there for it. So they better not mess it up this time. They just need to get it together and fix it, because if not, me as a Lion King fan, whatever, is going to be really upset once again. And then I probably will never watch another Lion King thing from the Disney at all. Just kidding, but still, do it right. Do it right. Don't mess with my franchise, please. Do not mess with my franchise. Also, I would like a Lion King 2 Simba's Pride movie made if you're going to do live action remakes, even though I don't really, because you're going to mess it up too. Anyways, moving on. So, something else that I learned at D23 that has the internet ablaze, obviously, is The Little Mermaid. So we all knew about The Little Mermaid prior to D23, but at D23 is when they showed a teaser trailer. And they put a teaser trailer out on the internet, and when I tell you, Hailey Bailey is going to kill this role. She's going to kill this role. Tears. Literal tears to our eyes. Hailey is going to kill this role, and I am so excited for her. She is incredible. Like, it's only like a 1-minute clip, basically of her swimming through the ocean, and there's like turtles everywhere, which, you know me, turtle girl, I love that. And she's just swimming around and, you know, being the curious, you know, Ariel, or Ariel, as Sebastian would say. And so yeah, and then at the end they have her sing a little bit of Part of Your World, and baby, that run, oh my goodness, that run. Out of the sea, wish I could be part of your world. Like, obviously I can't sing, but you know, I'm just saying, like, she was giving 100%, giving 110, giving 200. Like, she was just wow, and I am so excited for it, and I just can't wait. But obviously, as you know, the internet is full of idiots, and since the beginning of time, but basically since the beginning of them announcing that Hailey Bailey was going to be the new Little Mermaid, there have been racist idiots on the internet trying to basically make racist jokes and racist memes and racist caricatures, and basically trying to debunk the fact that, oh, well, you know, you have Hailey Bailey and you have, you know, she's black, and, you know, Ariel's not black and she's a redhead, and, you know, you're taking away from the redhead representation, and also, you know, scientifically, you know, black people would not live in the ocean, and all of these things that just sound ridiculous, like extremely ridiculous. And at the end of the day, you can try to say that tradition, you can try to say that, you know, this or that, but at the end of the day, it's just your racism showing, and we already knew that, but we don't care because little black girls and little black boys and little girls and boys of any race are all getting their life right now, and so we do not care about you and your racism, but thanks for just showing us who you are, because now we know who you are, and if you're gonna go this hard over a Disney character that's not real, then we know how you're gonna act in real life towards us as black people. So thanks for showing your racist side so we can just throw you out in the garbage, because literally we do not care. We're gonna go out, we're gonna support, and we're gonna make this movie the #1 movie in the box office, because we don't have time for you. We don't have time for you. Say what you want, but we do not have time for you. So, sorry, not sorry, but deuces. Like, leave. And also, this has nothing to do with Disney, but I just want to say that you being mad over some black elves in the Lord of the Rings series, Rings of Power, which I also need to watch, but we're going to watch that soon. But you being mad about that is stupid. Dumb, idiotic. Like, they're elves. Stop it. Stop it. You know what? All cultures, almost all cultures and all races actually do in real life have little people who exist. And so, little people can be in any culture. So elves, who are little people, can exist in any culture and any race. So, ha! Morons. Anyways, off of that topic and on to something else. So Disney Channel. So I did not watch the full entirety of D23, and I'm only going over some highlights that were big for me as a 90s child and things that just matter to me, you know, because I didn't really watch the entirety of the thing, so I don't really, you know, a lot. But there's a lot that I missed. But let's talk about Disney Channel for a second, and then we'll talk about some more movies and stuff. So, on Disney Channel, there's this show. You might have heard of it. It's called Raven's Home. Raven's Home is a good show. Now, I didn't really watch seasons 1 through 4 because I just really didn't have a lot of interest in it. But I am watching season 5 because season 5 is for us 90s kids, for us millennials who actually watched That's So Raven in the first place, because it has a lot of nostalgia in it. Now, I do wish Chelsea was on this season 5, but she's not, which I still don't know why, but anyways. But this season has the return of Alana, it has the return of Raven's dad, Victor, and it has her living at the Baxter house, and it has Booker going to Bayside High, and it's just very nostalgic for us. And I haven't gone to this episode yet because I don't think they've aired it yet, but there's an episode during season 5 where Tanya, Raven's mother, who we haven't seen in a hot minute, actually comes back for a reunion, and so we love that for that. But at D23, Raven is hosting part of the show, and there's this segment where she brings out her castmates from Raven's Home. And basically she announces that Raven's Home is getting a 6th season. And that's huge, right? And she said that Raven's Home has over 200 episodes, which is the longest running live action show on Disney Channel ever. And if you don't know how significant that is, I'm going to break it down for you one time for the one time, okay? So, if you're a millennial like me and you grew up on OG Disney Channel, I'm not talking about 2003 onward. I'm talking about 1997 to about 2001, 2002. You'll remember a time where your favorite show would be chugging along, doing great, really wonderful on the channel. And by like season 2 or season 3, the show would just be canceled. Even though the show is going really well, the show would just be canceled. And they would either give you like a movie to finish off the show, or they would just like end the show and it would be over, right? Shows like The Famous Jet Jackson, So Weird, Even Stevens, Lizzie McGuire, like shows like that didn't have 3rd seasons or 4th seasons. Some of them wouldn't either. We either have not have season 3s or season 4s due to a little rule called the 65 episode rule. Now back in the day, on Disney Channel, they had this thing called the 65 episode rule, where they would not let a show get past 65 episodes. And once they got to 65 episodes, they would not let them have another like 65 episodes or, you know, keep going after that. They would have to abruptly cut it off and either make them have a movie to end off the show, or they would just end off the show. They would not have any kind of anything else. And it was not until a little show called That's So Raven, It's the Future I Can See would come out in 2003 and have 4 seasons would they be able to break the 65 episode rule. And you want to know why? Because Raven's the best, okay? That's So Raven. It's what helped to bring Disney Channel to a different level. Yes, you had Even Stevens. Yes, you had Lizzie McGuire. And yes, those shows were big for us as 90s kids, as millennials, you know, whatever. But That's So Raven took it to a whole nother level. And because of That's So Raven, we ended up having a 4th season. And so that's why certain shows that were on the channel after That's So Raven, like Kim Possible was able to get a 4th season, Was the Waverly Place ended up having a 4th season, and I think another season after that. I don't know how many seasons they had, but Hannah Montana had a bunch of seasons, like Sweet Life and Zack and Cody. Like, all these shows had more than 3 seasons or more than 2 seasons because of Raven. And so it was really special to hear her say that Raven's Home ended up being 200 episodes, which is the most that a Disney Channel show has ever had. And I just think that's beautiful. Congratulations on 6 seasons. I'm loving it, and I'm so proud of the show. And I'm so proud of what Raven has been able to do as a Black woman, and just as the best person on Disney Channel, because let's not lie, Disney Channel would be nothing without Raven, and we can't even lie about it, because That's So Raven, the Cheetah Girls, her music, look, Nebula in Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, and her coming back over 20 years later and doing Raven's Home, beautiful, amazing, wonderful, we love it, and we love Raven, because she's always going to be an icon for the world, you know what I mean? And also, side note, Galleria Garibaldi is not a villain in the Cheetah Girls, because she is a human being who just wanted the girls to work, because those Cheetah Girls were lazy, and she just wanted them to work and perfect their craft so they could become famous, and they never wanted to work. So she is actually not the villain, as much as they'll try to tell you she is. And yeah, so yeah. But more on Disney Channel, or I guess Disney Plus. I have not been watching this because I didn't have any interest, but within the last season, they brought somebody back onto that show who was from the original, and it really boosted a lot of the credibility, or I guess, you know, fanfare for the show. And so that's why something else is about to happen. So basically, High School Musical, the series, I think that's what it's called, because I can't remember the whole entire title. Point being, never watched the show. Had no interest. But apparently this last season, Corbin Bleu was on the show. And because Corbin Bleu is amazing, we love Corbin Bleu in this house. Jumpin' is one of my favorite Disney Channel movies of all time. Because he came on the show, I guess the ratings got really good. And so I guess because he was on the show and it worked out really well, they announced at D23 that the original cast of High School Musical is going to be coming onto the show and doing like some cameos and stuff. And I am over the moon excited, because let's be honest, we all love High School Musical. High School Musical 2 is the best High School Musical. Argue with your mother. And I'm excited to see our Wildcats back on our screens. It's going to be wonderful. I'm excited. So that's something that I was really excited about. So something else that they talked about, it's actually a TV show. It's called Percy Jackson. And I'm really excited about this Percy Jackson show because I read the books back in the day. I'm pretty sure I didn't read all of them, so I actually don't know how it ended. But I'm pretty sure I read like at least the first 2. And so I'm really excited to see what they do with this show. I am not a fan of books like that have several books made into movies. Now, the Percy Jackson movie that they made back in the day was actually not that bad, actually, at all. But Series of Unfortunate Events also had a movie that came out based on the books, and it was trash. No offense, I love Jim Carrey, but it was trash. And so, when they finally decided to bring a Series of Unfortunate Events to Netflix and have several seasons, it was incredible. Neil Patrick Harris killed Count Olaf. It was just such a good show. And it's because they had more time to flesh out the stories from the books. So I'm excited to see what they do with this Percy Jackson story as a series. I'm really excited. The trailer looked amazing from what I saw. And I'm excited to see Annabelle be a black woman or a black girl. And also, all y'all racists who are also mad about that, shut up. Like, stop, okay? Because, sorry to say it, but your fandoms are going to get a lot blacker and a lot more female, women-oriented the more as time goes on. And you're just going to have to deal with it because black women, black people, people of color, indigenous people, we are here to stay because we like all this fandom stuff too, and you might have tried to exclude us in the past, but we are not going to be excluded anymore. So deal with it because we're tired of your bickering and your moaning and your groaning about black people and women being in your stuff. Like, just shut up. We don't care because clearly the studios don't care either. So if the writer of an actual book whose story, whose characters this is, says that it's okay for a character to be a black girl, then it's okay for the character to be a black girl. Get over it. You're annoying. So there were also several other announcements made, and some of them were really great. Like, we're having a new Afro-Latina princess coming. I'm excited about that. We also have a story based in Africa that's coming, which I'm excited about that. There's also a Marvel show that's going to be on Disney Channel that is about a little black girl who roller skates, and it's a Marvel superhero, so I'm excited about that. So there are a lot of diversity that's coming, and I'm excited about all of that. But here's something I was actually excited about, like super excited about, like besides like Mufasa, this was like the other thing that I was extra excited about, but also really sad that I missed because I wasn't there. But yeah, Cleo Thomas, who played Zero in Holes, y'all know I'm obsessed with Holes, nothing new there. He got to interview Taj Mori, you know, Tia and Tamera Mori, Taj Mori. He got to interview him for the 25th anniversary of Smart Guy. I was so jealous. First of all, I was jealous he got to interview him. Second, I was jealous that two of my favorite people from my childhood were at D23 and I was not there. And third, I was just, really? Now, if you don't know this backstory, Taj and Cleo know each other, obviously, from the, you know, acting circuit because they were around at the same time. And Cleo obviously got the role of Zero in Holes. But Taj actually auditioned to be Zero as well. But Cleo beat him out. And, you know, I thought about it. I was like, would Taj have been a good Zero? And I actually think he would have. But because I know him from several other roles, I just think he would have brought his Tajness to the role, and it was good to have Cleo as Zero because he brought something fresh to the role. But that's no disrespect to Taj because if you know me at all, I'm like in love with Taj Mori. Okay, it is what it is. I am in love with him, and that's it. That's it. That's all. Okay, that's it. That's all. All right. So, anyways, but no, that was so epic. Like, I was just like, what? Like, I never expected Taj and Cleo to have like an interview or like a panel or like anything together, and I missed it, which is sad. But I did get to see some highlights on the internet, so I'm not too mad, but like still I missed it and I was really sad, but whatever. And then to top that all off, Cleo also got to interview Will Friedle and Chrissy Carlson Romano from Kim Possible for the 20th anniversary of Kim Possible, and I was just like, my mind was blown. I was like, when in the world? Like, I did not expect any of that. Like, any of that. And I was just like, wow, like, Kim Possible, Smart Guy, just my whole childhood, you know, just my whole childhood. It's fine, it's whatever. Like, my whole childhood just in front of my eyes, like, Zero gets to interview everybody and just be in the aura of everybody, and it's fine. It's fine. I missed out on everything, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Anyways, so yeah, but that was cool too, and I was just really excited about that as well, because that's really cool. Like, Christy actually had Cleo on her series called Vulnerable, and also on her other series called Snacks and Reacts, which is like this thing she does on her YouTube channel. And you should go watch both of those things with Cleo because they were really great. But yeah, Christy's an awesome human being. Like, we love her. She's great. And Kim Possible's a really, really great show. So kudos to Cleo for getting both of those. And yeah, there was like probably a lot more that happened at D23, but at the same time, I didn't really pay that close of attention to everything. Those are just some of the highlights that I watched or found out about during that time. And yeah, but I'm excited for what's to come from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, the whole gambit, Disney Channel, Disney Plus, Hulu, all of it. I'm just really excited what's going to come from all of that. And yeah, Disney never really fails except for with that Lion King. And I keep saying it, but it's true. And if you watch that abomination, you know. You better not mess up Mufasa. You better not mess up Mufasa, or we're going to have words. We're going to have words. I'm so serious. Anyways, so yeah, that's just my little recap from D23. And yeah, I hope to one day be able to attend a D23 because that looked dope. And yeah, I just hope that Disney and Pixar do even more incredible things in the future, and Marvel and Star Wars and all the whole thing. And yeah, DC, catch up, and stop taking things off HBO Max. I know this has nothing to do with anything, but DC, stop taking stuff off HBO Max that should not be taken off. HBO Max, stop taking stuff off your platform that isn't being taken off. I know this has nothing to do with Disney, but that just reminded me that I'm annoyed at HBO Max because all their good stuff is being taken off. And also, this has nothing to do with Disney also, but I'm just going to throw it in so we're talking about HBO Max. The Degrassi reboot. What is up with that? Like, what in the world? Like, you said you were bringing back Degrassi, got us all hype and everything, and then nothing. Come on. HBO Max, DC, and Degrassi, get it together, please. But yeah, I'm gonna stop before I start rambling about like every station on Earth. But yeah, this has just been me talking about some of the stuff that I liked and heard from D23, and I hope to go one day. And yeah, I hope you're having an amazing day, week, month, year, and check me out soon. And until next time, peace and blessings.